Project Hyperion is the next contract in the chain of Onyx Facility investigations in Star Citizen 4.3.1. And if you haven't done the initial contracts yet, you can check out my complete guide for those first. But for this one, it goes straight from 2nd to 6th gear in terms of time commitment and steps. So if you're running it solo, set aside a fair chunk of time, as Hyperion takes us through the puzzles of engineering, across to research, and then into the brand new science wing. You're going to need to go prepared. Gear-wise, I run my usual heavy everything except legs and a Zeus backpack. Med pens and decon pens can be looted within the facility itself, and you can fabricate the multi-tool modules that you need. Personally, however, running solo, I like to carry 3 multi-tools and just swap between them, instead of faffing around with the customization wheel. Altogether, you'll need a tractor, cambio SRT plus full canister, and a mining module. I stock up on ammo and a couple of paramed refills, and leave some in the hangar kiosk before heading in. This should go without saying, but spoilers ahead. And of course, if you want a handy reference for Project Hyperion, I've got you covered. High-res versions can be downloaded from the RSI Hub or my Discord server, both of which linked below. Opening your Contracts app and going to Investigations, you should find a new entry, Jorrits Dossier Project Hyperion. When you accept this, you should also be given Dr. Jorrits Lab notes as a journal entry, which gives a bit more context to what you're about to get into. There are 3 reagent codes at the core in engineering and 3 catalysts in the different labs of the research wing. You need to combine one of each in the lab in Site B to produce a recombinant that will be delivered to your home location. Engineering sees you dealing with a variety of puzzles in order to get the reagent code, and the timings can be pretty tight if you're solo. So what I like to do is clear enemies and prep for the puzzle first at every step. Each stage has clear indicators when a part is complete, but they also all have diagnostic screens to guide you, with the exception of the power core. Each large cooling pipe is attached to a switch and a small pressure pipe. The reset on the pressure pipes is the fastest, so clear the calcified coolant off of all of the couplings first. Just use your mining tool and whack it up to full power. As of recording and editing, they don't explode like mineable rocks do. Once all 3 pipe couplings are cleared, use your cambio module to repair the broken pressure pipe with right-click, and as soon as that light goes green on the pipe, throw the corresponding switch and move on to the next one. Once all 3 are done, hit the download button on the nearest terminal. Each of the 3 towers needs to be supplied with a plasma canister that you can find in the storage warehouse to the left. Beware though, moving off of the steps towards the center of the circle will spawn an adult irradiated Valakar, and a group of looters will come bumbling out of the control building to the right. These are trigger-based, so it's better to just stay on the lower run and go into the warehouse. If you're lucky and it's the first time this puzzle is being done, there'll be plenty of plasma containers scattered around. If not, clear out the enemies and head through the hole in the wall in the toilets like we did for the earlier contract. This room has a plasma refill machine that will make fresh canisters every 60 seconds after the 3 inside have been tracted out. Once you have your 3 containers, what I like to do is hoik them towards the mission marker on the upper ring first, then mantle up to trigger the Valakar and use the diagnostic screen for cover. Once the Valakar and any NPCs have been dealt with, tractor the plasma canisters into the designated slots on the condensers and then download your data. Then it's up to the control room to upload at the terminal. This is a linear section with a few enemies that you should already be very familiar with from previous contracts, so we'll jump to the fuel reactor puzzle. This is essentially a massive Lorentz cannon, and as with other puzzles, it's all about prep work and timing. The lever to the left is used to pump out fresh plasma cells down below the cannon. Originally, 2 were needed, but this has now been changed to 1. Take your time getting ready, have your mining and cambio multi-tools ready to go once you've got to the cell, and wait for the radiation pulse. Once the pulse has happened, mantle on top, full charge the mining tool again to clear off the gunk on either side, repair the pipe, and drop back down. By this point, there's probably another pulse coming, so just take cover until it passes and get your tractor ready. Load the cell into the breach and be careful not to hit it if any NPCs come down the stairs on the opposite side. Once the next pulse happens, the cannon will fire a charged shot directly to the power core. When that animation is finished, the download will be available on the terminal. Again, you should be no stranger to the hazardous materials room or the parkour section, so we're off to the power core. This can be the trickiest part, as in addition to the insanely high radiation pulses every 30 seconds, there's the sterling-clad NPCs with P4s and a penchant for respawning right as you don't need them to. This is where the long range comes in, but again, if you're playing solo, speed and efficiency is of the essence. So work as quickly as possible to take out the enemies from the relatively safe entry tunnel that doesn't get the full radiation from the pulse. Then head over to gantry number 1 on the left. Each of these gantries has a switch in the middle that needs to be thrown in sequence from 1 to 6. You'll know if the puzzle has reset because once you throw the first, that gantry will have green accent lights and the next one will be flashing yellow. If they are all just blue, then the puzzle has reset. Clear the gantries and try not to get disorientated going from upside down to right side up. Tactically hide from the radiation pulses and land in front of the switches. And once they're all done, you need to grab a reagent code. In order to do so, you'll need to connect a linkage to the power core. The button is a few meters away from the reagent markers themselves, towards the core, and again will be flashing yellow indicating that it's ready. You can dodge radiation by being lower or higher than the anomaly itself, and time your button pressing for right after a pulse has happened to give you the most time to press both buttons. That's it for engineering. Head for the exit under the ASD logo, and if you've taken any hits, be sure to head to the medical bed in the lobby to reset your tiered injury counter. Once again, from previous contracts or from ASD Geist armor running, you'll be used to this wing. However, there is now a new floor open. Floor 5, directly under the reception, allows for a faster route down to the central atrium in both the stairs to the medical lab and an extension of the drop-down shaft. There are 3 possible catalysts to grab in research. XTL is obtained by feeding NPC bodies into the biomass processor in the Xenotechnology lab on floor 7, and then going to the control panel on floor 6. I like to feed a few bodies into it for good measure, and it's not like there isn't a ready supply. PWL is from the Gravity Lab on floor 6, and there's a new panel in the observation room that you'll need to press to stabilize the anomaly before going 0G to the scientist's recording. Finally, RGL is located in the medical lab on floor 8. Just head to the computer in the small room at the far end, but beware of Sam, one of Dr. Jorrits' pioneers who always seems to regenerate with a Volt pistol in his hands, for some bizarre reason. So grab your catalyst and then get clear of the lab, unless you really want to torment the poor guy. Now it's time to head to Site B, which is only accessed via the central atrium elevator on floor 9. 2 opposing factions still trigger when you enter the area in front of the lift doors. Just chill on the corner of these boxes and let them sort it out amongst themselves. Once the elevator arrives, head up to floor 1 and then take a left. This is a very linear section with nothing interesting, so just follow the broken floor and wall path until you reach the Site B elevator, which takes you to a breather room before carrying on. As I've already put up a loot run video for the new Fresnel LMG and the OMC armor boxes, this video is solely focused on completing the experiment. I won't be stopping to loot. The P6 comes to shine again as we take the slow travelator down. I try to take as many enemies out as possible before touching the ground. Using the explosive barrels if they happen to be there is a great way to do some clearing. So far, I've only had the two-man guns be working once. Every other time, the NPCs have been static in their spawn closets. Heading to the main facility, again there's a large trigger-based spawn of enemies and a manned gun at the end of the lateral travelator. Close the gap or deal with them from range, and then we're heading in on the right-hand side. Pushing forward into the loading bay and through to the lobby, fighting off yet more fixed and trigger-based enemy spawns along the way. The Project Hyperion door code is above the lobby desk. I tend to avoid a chunk of the enemies in the lobby itself by just going through the left-hand side, quickly peeking the code, and then going through the door. Round to the right, and we've got what could be a quite painful area for the unsuspecting. With the same general structure as the Xenotech Lab in research, there's 3-man turrets on the opposite balcony. You can either try and take out the NPCs who run to man them, or, as I like to do, crouch walk across to avoid them. There is, of course, always the option of trying to mantle over the balcony and sprinting for the door before getting absolutely butchered. But if you're taking your time, dropping down underneath the guns, through the red door and into the antechamber. As I'm not looting, I'll just be passing through to the bulkhead door on the left to take out the 3 heavies. Then into the lab itself, and after a little moment of admiring the handiwork of the environment and level design team, climbing up on either side, you then run your experiment on either of the indicated terminals. Download the results, and then the recombinant from your chosen catalyst and reagent will be delivered to your home location. At the moment, all the recombinant seems to be for is trading with Wicklow, which is ironic given how the entire ASD story from Pharaoh, Lazarus, Onyx, and now Hyperion, as it stands, culminates in this, giving you bluer balls than the Banu Barter bot. Hopefully there's more in a future patch, because it certainly feels like there should be. But for right now, running Site B is a way to earn just under 700k and a Wicklow trade item, or get the new Vault weapon and utility armor. As more of a fan of the world building and storytelling of this year, I hope we're far from done with Onyx or Jorrits human evolution experiments. Thank you very much for your time. This has been a really meaty one to put together, and your time is very much appreciated. Let me know what you think of Hyperion down below, and until the next one, fellow citizens, fly safe and beware the bugs.